The thoughts, views, and opinions are that of my own. I'm not a salesman. I cannot be bought. This is all entertainment. Let's go.
The cipher. It's the new cipher.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Peace, 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 peace. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. This is your host, EQ, and welcome to
The cipher. The cipher. It's the new cipher.
How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Kind of slow today. I was kind of 50-50 if I was going to do this. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I changed some wires around, so let me know if y'all can hear me good on the mic. Can y'all hear me? Check 1, check 2. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I know you can see me.
It's the new cipher.
Peace, peace, peace. Peace. Sounds good, bro. All right. Appreciate it. That's what we doing. We're going to cover over a few things today. I'm going to start a new series. People like panties robbers, so we're going to figure it out. But I'll tell you, I got a science behind what I'm doing. So
It's the new cipher.
Peace, and more peace. It is a vibe all day, every day. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? So let's go to the title of the show. This is episode number 65. Episode number 65 of the Cipher. Today's Cipher is going to be my top 10 sex appeal fragrances. This is my Art of Seduction series. People talk about compliments, and a lot of times I've talked many a times on compliments and why I like spraying, wearing my fragrances the way that I do. I have a reason behind that. Besides the fact that it just works when I want it to work, it also goes by the fact I read books and I study human behavior, sociology. But the Art of Seduction. What I'm going to talk about is going to be based, I'm going to read some passages. I'm going to kind of back up my theory based on who you are or your personality and figure out how to play that out to get the results that you want when compliments is what you seek. Because a lot of people seek that, right? The thing about fragrances that I love is, and I heard this somewhere, is, when I say before I choose a fragrance to wear, I think about where I'm going, what I'm wearing. It is part of the presentation, but it is an important part of the presentation because the power of scent memory is real. You can have an outfit on. Let's just say a Nike sweatsuit, a blue suit, a Nike sweat jacket, some sweatpants, a t-shirt. You can have a baseball cap on. You can have a leather jacket and some jeans on, right? A woman or a man, depending on what you into, or anything in between, will see somebody else wearing that jacket, and it's just another jacket. They can go in the mall and see somebody wearing that outfit, or see that outfit in Foot Locker or in Bergdorf, and it will do nothing. That same person can be walking down the street, smell something, and be instantly reminded of a moment in time. Scent memory is extremely important, which is why how you smell, matching it, getting the most out of it, how many sprays, all of that matters when it comes to emotion and scent memory. It is extremely important. If you don't think so, you just don't understand how smell in the mind actually works or triggers. How many times have y'all been somewhere and y'all smelt something and it reminded you of your grandmother or being a kid? It wasn't the outfit, it was the smell. You'd be like, damn, That reminds me of my grandmother. It reminded me of my father. It reminded me the first time my father took me fishing, or the first time we went hunting, or what it sent memory. So learning how to use that sexy, sex appeal fragrances, targeting scent memory is a perfect way to get the most bang out of your buck. This is why, the whole put a 25 sprays and if your body ain't wet, you ain't spray enough. It's goofy talk to me. I'm almost guaranteeing you, people promoting that when they're outside, I'll put money, they're not getting that attention that you want, that they're seeking. I'm guaranteeing you it's not happening. Take them out of fragrance spaces, put them in the real world, outside, around real people. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening the way they say they are. It's good to say on camera, but it ain't happening. So it just doesn't. I know people make fun of people who shower in fragrance. I'm like, that's a thing. Now, depending on where you are in the world, it could be different. But yeah, you get made fun of. You know what I mean? And we're going to go into the science of that. So I'm going to break that down. Before I do, let me have a sip of something today. So before we get into that, I'm going to get into this Glen Morangi Tokyo, which is a limited edition. I'm going to sip that tonight. Have a little sip. Hit the like button, people. 77 people in the chat. Hit the like button for me, please, and we'll get into the main course of the video. We'll get into the main course of the video. A few things before we get into the video. Of course, my Bergdorf package arrived today. Listen, man, there's a reason why sometimes it's good to buy retail. Y'all see how big this box is? Bergdorf box, right? You see how big this box is? This box from my person who I've purchased a lot of stuff from, it's a whole box of samples. It's fragrances from Memo Paris, some Creed, some Killian. I have a whole set, which I'm gonna probably do a first impressions on the set. Bottega Veneta. No one's talking about this. Maybe Sebastian. I don't know. I'm not, watching a lot of content, but Bottega Veneta. I have some a whole set of Low. So we'll get into, one day I'll do first impressions on the house. Broom, Orpin. I have a lot of different things here. So, you don't get that when you're like buying at discounters. Discounters aren't giving you a box this size for your appreciation. That's, the beauty of buying retail. And of course, what came in today was my champagne at Bergdorf. For those who haven't seen a real presentation, you're going to get a box like this. Well, you're going to get a huge box from Bergdorf, but the outer package like this says Bergdorf. Inside of that package, you're going to get a white coffret that opens up like so. Put that back. And inside of that, you're going to get this absolute beauty of a fragrance. And that's champagne at BG. Champagne at BG. Gold. What we got here? Is this white? Like it's clear crystals, but it might have a pink shade. So a lot of people started getting, it has the signature on the cap. I know he's been doing away with that. So I'm going to put that on skin today. I'm put that on skin tonight. This is absolutely stunning perfumery, bro. And for people who didn't see my first impressions, although I say, ooh, bro, the room, this is good. Although, what I was gonna say, although I saved and budgeted for this in the beginning of the year, I was committed to not buying this. I was committed. I was like, it's gonna be mid. Roja apparently has a new perfumer. I'm like, it's gonna be somebody young. People generally perfume based on their experiences, things they like, which is why a lot of Roja fragrances have somewhat ties or constructed like Chanel or constructed like Guerlain fragrances. Because Roja, I believe, used to be a perfumer at Guerlain. So you can see that a lot of his chypres harken back to that era in his experience. So I was just kind of like, I don't know. But when I got my first impressions on this aldehydic, sparkling, citruses, woods, vanilla, cashmere, some florals, rose. I don't know what notes in here, but these are the things that pick up and stand out to me the most. This is complex, it's changing, it's bright, it's signature scent worthy. This is a New Year's Eve fragrance. This is a special occasion fragrance. This is a fragrance you can wear anywhere, anytime. That's Champagne at BG from Bergdorf. Only 150 were made. If you get it, you get it. When it's gone, it's gone. It's never coming back. This, is it cracking my top 10? It's still too early to say, because my top 10 that I own are heavy hitters. My top 10 aren't fragrances that you're going to see most of your favorite fragrance reviewers talking about, outside of maybe Darian, because Darian starts buying exclusives. He's kind of into the alt luxe kind of line. You're not going to, but it's a couple of fragrances I know he don't have that I have. So does it crack my top 10? I don't know, but this is signature scent worthy. If it didn't cost so much, and let's say it was more like around the 500-ish range, I would have probably bought 2 of them. At 100, being that I have so much, I think I can make this work. I don't think I'm gonna wear it that much. I'll baby this a little bit, just a little bit. And that's Champagne at BG. Amazing, amazing fragrance. Make sure y'all hit the like button, 100 people in the chat. So what else did I want to talk about? I know yesterday I did a live on near the second hour of the live. I was talking about a fragrance house that my guy All World Fragrance sent me. I believe that's Maison Solis. Maison Solis, I believe, is the name of the house. And it was Reposado in Blanco. Reposado Chef's Kiss. I'm going to have to figure out. I went online and I think it was for the low too. I'm talking retail. Now, I didn't do much research, see if those were 50 mLs or 30 mLs. If he's in here, hopefully somebody can say if they're 50 mLs or 30 mLs. But I saw him for about 120-ish. I was like, oh, that's a steal. He needs to collaborate with me because he's about to get a whole bunch of sales. And I'm always kind of funny when that happens, because then they don't show love. And there's a lot of things I've been peeping in this fragrance space. That's I don't know. It's things that I've known before, but I don't know if I really want to go into my observations of the fragrance space when it comes to content creation, who gets shown love, how it happens, when it happens, representation, not representation. I'm still kind of like peeping the game. But the Reposado was absolutely amazing. The Blanco, I'm kind of 50-50. I wish the Blanco smelled like this. This is one of my favorite brands because this is real tequila. No additives. And this El Alateo, this is no additives in their tequila. Now, if the Blanco smelled like this, bro, then it would have been like next level. I'm still don't know if I'm sold on a Blanco. I'll have to try that in the summertime. I just don't know yet. I just don't know if I'm sold on that yet. Anywho, what else do we have to cover? Nothing else? All right, let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's get into it. So on today's episode, again, for today's episode, we're going to discuss my top 10 sex appeal fragrances. This is from a series. I'm going to be doing different series, but this is what I call the Art of Seduction series. What inspired this series is, one, sitting back looking at the landscape of Fragcom. People love compliments. A lot of people, I'm watching reviewers say 50 sprays on something. It's just a lot of stuff that goes against the whole science and how a fragrance should be experienced by you and how it's experienced about others. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. I think if you have to put 50 sprays on a fragrance, you probably should just get a new fragrance. But that was all based off of a book I love. I read numerous times. I always circle back on it, and that's from The Art of Seduction, the book The Art of Seduction from Robert Greene. Great book. So it was based on that. So these fragrances, to me, are absolutely seductive and scream sex appeal. But let me read a couple of excerpts, and it'll go into kind of my thoughts into you know, into why I say what I say and why I move the way I move, and why when people say, oh, these reviewers be lying, they don't get compliments like that, I just be like, no, you don't get compliments like that. I do. So one of them is like, seducers are never self-absorbed. Their gaze is directed outward, not inward. When they meet somebody, their first move is to get inside of the person's skin, to see the world through their eyes. Self-absorption is a sign of insecurity. It's anti-seductive. You know, you oversprayers, right? So you want to be discovered, and there's ways to be enchanting and to be discovered. Now, part of what I'm gonna get into is the different types and architects of the art of seduction. And one of the art of seductions we're gonna get into that I want to really harp on is the dandy. So today we're gonna be talking about fragrances I believe fall under the dandy. Most of us feel trapped within the limit roles that the world expects us to play. We are instantly attracted to those who are more fluid, more ambiguous than we are, those who create their own persona. Dandies excite us because they cannot be categorized and hint at freedom we want for ourselves. They play with masculinity and femininity. I'm gonna say it again. They play with masculinity and femininity. Their fashion, their own physical image, which is always startling. They are mysterious and elusive. They also appeal to the narcissism of each sex. To a woman, they are psychologically female. To a man, they are male. Dandies fascinate, seduce in large numbers. Use the power of the dandy to create ambiguous, alluring presence that stirs repressed desires. I'm telling you, when I've had a big issue, you know, looking at fragrance content, and it's like, dudes, I'm like, I don't believe you need more people, because what they say goes against all sorts of things. I'll read a little bit more and then we'll get into it. Dandy style cannot be obvious, for dandies are subtle, and never try hard for attention. Attention comes to them. I don't know, bro. You know, your favorite reviewers, I don't know, man. The feminine dandy is for men. Which is the slightly ambiguous man, lures the woman in exactly what she wants. A familiar, pleasing, graceful presence. Mirroring female psychology, he displays attention, his appearance, sensitivity to detail, insight, colloquialness, but also hints at the male cruelty. Women are narcissists, in love with the charms of their own sex. You always see women complimenting each other. They do it all the time. Girl, you look beautiful. They're kind of narcissists by our trait, and that's not a bad thing. They're somewhat self-absorbed. You know, men has never kind of been that way, right? By showing them the female charm, a man can mesmerize and disarm them, leaving them vulnerable to bold, masculine move. The dandy. Are you the dandy, or you just a loud, obnoxious, goofy, right? So listening to that, listen to what those fragrances are going to represent. How you going? So I'm going to talk about these fragrances, how many sprays I'm doing with them, how I'm wearing them, and why every fragrance I own has to fit a certain category in how I choose what I'm going to wear, when I'm going to wear, depending on where I'm going. There's a science behind every single thing that I personally do. I don't just do things to do it. So before we start, since there's no more reading, I'm gonna do two honorable mentions. One kind of annoys me. I'm probably gonna give this one fragrance away, but I think it deserves to be mentioned for affordability purposes. I'm gonna kind of rant and semi-trash this fragrance a little bit, but there's a reason why I'm also talking about it. The first fragrance, and that's the fragrance I'm talking about, is I'm trying to remember the name of this fragrance house. I can't even remember the name of this fragrance house. Oh, Athena. And that's Abba, right? So this fragrance was supposed to be a clone of a Roja that I've wanted forever. And I can never get my hands on it, but I also don't want to pay $2,000 for it or more. It's just not that serious to me. So I said, well, let me kind of get this. What you get is a lot of fruits, some cotton candy, woods, oud, a little bit of cacao. Is what you're supposed to get. When I smell this, it smells cheap to me. And this is why the whole clone fragrances are just as good and people can't tell. When you've been wearing really good perfumery, sometimes you can smell cheap. And I will almost put money, thousands of dollars, that this isn't remotely close to the Roja fragrance is supposed to smell like. It's probably a fraction close, but in quality, you can't convince me that a person who goes into the jungles of Thailand or Indonesia or Cambodia and get oud from there, source it, extract it, go to Saudi Arabia, actually pick Taif rose, extract it, source it, goes to buy a maize rose, which only grows in May, and extract it, source it. Is it going to be better than somebody who's taking a fragrance, putting it in a machine and letting it spit out? You cannot convince me of that. Reason why? Because oud by itself, you can just wear oud by itself, nothing else. Just put real oud on your body. It has a top, middle, and base. It goes through transitions. That's by itself. The complexity of that ingredient is constantly changing. So you can't convince me that a fragrance that costs like $40, $50 or maybe $100, I forgot how much I paid for this. I try to wear it, I like it, and then I just be like, I smell cheap. To me, it just smells cheap. But if your price, bang for your buck, I guess is okay. It smells of oud, but you can't tell me. Sometimes, it smells sweet. It's very sweet. It's attractive. But for me, because I deem it, it just smells cheap to me. It's hard for me to reach for this. Is it bad? Are you going to stink? No. If you go outside, will some people like it? Yeah, possibly not. But I know I need the real bottle. And that's another thing that just bothers me with this particular fragrance. But overall, it's solid. I give it like a 4.5, 5 out of 10. I haven't smelt the other Roja that I've been searching for. I believe is the Sultan of Oman. I forgot which one. Y'all go to Fragrantica and a lot of people say which one it is. It doesn't do it for me. I'll probably end up giving this away to one of my family members. And that's from Athena, and that's Agba. Some people like it. Listen, if you have that fragrance and you like it, cool. Continue to like it. It's just not my, I just don't, every time I reach for it, I just be kind of like let down, and just because it doesn't smell as good. The second honorable mention I'm going to discuss is a fragrance I still haven't figured out if I want a full bottle of it. I like it. I don't love it. And I just don't know, since I don't I do know. I don't love it. I don't think I need to buy it. And because I purchased 100 ml bottle, I got a free sample, a free 10 ml of this. I oftentimes think the 10 ml will last me because I don't love it. Now, as I wear the 10 ml, if it goes out once I'm out of the 10 ml and I still come to the conclusion that I need it, then I'll get a bottle of 50 ml at best. But that's from the house of Roja, and that's Oud Extraordinaire. When you buy 100 ml, especially when you get it from overseas, you get a choice of a 10 ml sample. And it's good. This is cotton candy, tropical fruits, oud, a whole list of notes. It's bright, it's floral. It definitely, to me, leans feminine. It leans feminine. But when you talk about the dandy, remember what I read. You're wearing things. This is when you're a masculine man, when your outward appearance is extremely masculine anyway, you can get away with something like this. Why? Because women want to wear it. They want to wear it. And even if a woman is attracted to a woman, she likes the smell of women. She's going to want to, it's just going to appeal to her her inner narcissism because she wants to wear it, right? So it starts the conversation. And then once the conversation starts, you get to introduce yourself, open up your mouth. Hopefully your breath smells good. You floss, you brush your teeth are white. You know, you say smart things out of your mouth, and then maybe you can get to know them more. That's the point of the fragrance, the allure of it, right? But it definitely leans to me on the feminine side. It's not a bad fragrance. It just doesn't blow me away. I don't hate it, but I'm not in like blown away by it. So that's why I think the 10 ml is all I need. You can wear this in the summertime though. It's bright enough because of these like tropical fruits. I believe pineapples in here and some more things where you can wear this in the summertime and it's going to work. I just got to wear it more and I'll figure it out when I'm halfway through the 10 ml. If I need 100 ml, cool, I'll buy it. But I just haven't figured out my wear of the 10 ml. I just haven't figured out where I'm at with it, but it's worth mentioning for those who are into the dandy of the art of seduction. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button. All right. I'm gonna end up doing 12. I said top 10, but it's really gonna be 12. I'm not gonna, this isn't no ranked order. I think all of these are good. I'm not ranking none of these. I think all of these are quality. And again, when I talk about them, I'm gonna tell you how many sprays, kind of how I'm gonna wear it, because some are a little bit stronger than others. So I'll try to break that down for you. Coming in at number 12. Number 12 is mostly because it is a new fragrance. So for the last maybe about 7 days, I've been wearing this fragrance like every day. And the beauty of that is like today in the daytime, it was kind of hot. It was, well, hot is an overstatement. It was decent. It was warm. I'll say it was warm today. In the middle of the day, I went out for a walk. Went for my 4-mile walk and I sprayed this on so I can just enjoy it. A couple of days ago, it was a little bit cooler. So I've had the opportunity to experience this particular fragrance in different many areas. It is a new fragrance. And the more I wear it, the more I'm understanding what this fragrance is, the more that I like it. I think when I talked about this fragrance, I think I gave it like an 8, 7.5, an 8. I think right now it's more like an 8, 8.5. More like an 8, 8.2 is where it's at. And that's from the house of Day 3 Fragrances, and that's Midnight Raspberry. Midnight Raspberry. To me, this is a dandy, a seductive fragrance. Now, what I like about this fragrance is the patchouli in here acts as like shave natural dark chocolate is how it comes off. The florals and the raspberry in here. So what you get is chocolate raspberry on the wearing. The oud that is used in here, I believe Vietnamese, isn't animalic. It's just a dry, smooth, woody. It's almost like a combination of maybe like a gaiac and some sandalwood kind of thing. It's very airy, woody fragrance that surrounds these chocolatey raspberry nuances. Although originally I didn't rank this high, I told y'all that this reminds me of dim lights, steak dinner, bold drinks, red wine, things of that nature. This is sexy. It's sexy. The more I'm wearing it, it's not a loud fragrance. It's a subtle fragrance, which is what the dandy is. It plays on the masculine and feminine with the oud, the chocolatey nuances of patchouli, and the raspberry. It is the perfect dandy fragrance, if that's what you're going for. Very good fragrance. Is it in my top 3? I haven't figured out if it's in my top 3. I'm going to have to do a ranking of Day 3 fragrances one day, but it's up there. I just don't know if I like it better than Ambar, Dominicano, or some of the other ones. I know what my top 2 are. I just don't know if this hits 3 yet because he has some bangers, but Midnight Raspberry is a perfect art of seduction, the dandy kind of fragrance. That's Midnight Raspberry from Day 3 Fragrances. Moving on. Coming up next is a fragrance house that I was on them early in the game. Before they was discounted, but you still had to pay a pretty penny for this fragrance house. I've been on them. The bottles are extremely extravagant. The perfume inside is even more extravagant. Now, I haven't purchased none of their new releases because I've owned almost every bottle from the house. I haven't gotten a new set of 5 releases. I've smelt 3 of them. I like them. I just didn't. I had other things to get at $300, $400, $500 a piece. I just had other things I wanted to get. And when you start saying like 500 times 5, it's like 2,500, almost close to 3,000. I just have other things to do with my money than purchase more fragrances when I don't need any more fragrances. I'm extremely content on what I own. I am happy with my collection. I don't need to own anything else. I don't need to purchase anything else. But this is from the house of Spirit of Dubai. No one really talks about this particular fragrance from the house. I like it. And this is Amal from their second generation, Amal. So with Spirit of Dubai, you're going to get a fragrance that's extremely long lasting. It uses real oud. The beauty with this fragrance, this is a rose oud fragrance. But I know that a lot of Spirit of Dubai fragrances kind of intermingle. They kind of somewhat have this particular DNA, where they use oud, rose, and coffee, fruits, and things of this nature. This is one of the more wearable ones, and it's not overly loud. This is extremely wearable. Now, I've read somewhere some people's like this is fecal. There's nothing fecal about this. Absolutely nothing. I would admit it. I have some fecal fragrances. This isn't it. What you get here is candied fruits, tons of candied fruits, like citruses, some apple, some peach. You have like all the roses. I believe you have damask, you have Bulgarian rose, I believe you have May rose. You have everything but Taif rose in this fragrance. In the base, it's woody, it's ambery. You're going to see notes like civet and castoreum. Listen, people saying that's nothing but the leather accord for me. It just creates a nice, like rough leather accord for me when I smell it with the labdanum. It's just leather to me. It's kind of how it comes off on my skin. You have this spun crystallized sugar that's noted in this. So you get this like candied fruits. You get that Middle Eastern coffee thing going on with the coffee cardamom thing in here. It's exotic. It's woody because of this masculine, woody, leathery, ambery base, but having a candied, almost florals up top. That's the combination that with the dandy, adding the masculine and the feminine and combining them. This is a beautiful fragrance. The only reason it's a little bit lower, just because I have so many fragrances, I don't reach for it as much when I want to reach for this house. I kind of go with Narcissi, but this one right here is a absolute gem of a fragrance because they're using real oud in here, a little bit of Indian oud, some oud oils. You don't need a lot. This is like a 4 spray, 6 spray fragrance at the most. You don't want to fill a room. This is a fragrance where you want to walk by people and it's going to stand out. Why? Because you can't go to Macy's and smell something like this. And because of the quality of it, you're not going to get a $40 clone that's going to smell like this. It's the quality. It's just going to smell richer. It is different in the air and on skin. And the experience is absolutely beautiful with everything going on and the way it transitions throughout the life of the fragrance. Sometimes you will get a hint of smoke and shisha. Sometimes you just get these candied fruits. At other times you get this coffee, ambery, woody base. Then it'll go back to these fruits and these florals. Then you'll get popping of rose. It is a beautiful fragrance. That's Amal from the Spirit of Dubai. Again, I'm not ranking these. I'm not really ranking these. All these are good. So I'm not saying that, number one is going to be whatever it's going to be. Matter of fact, I'm just going to say next fragrance. I'm not even going to mention a number because depending on the mood, any one of these could be number one. Maybe outside of midnight raspberry, just because it's so new to me. I just don't want to be putting that at. It's just new. I don't have enough time with it. And it didn't blow me away to the point where I'm like, oh, this is my favorite fragrance ever. You know what I'm saying? It's in that medium where it's like really good. I like it. It's sexy. This is going to be great. All right, moving on. This is a fragrance I talked about before. This is a sleeper fragrance. Nobody talks about this fragrance when they talk about sex appeal. Your favorite reviewers never really talk about this fragrance. This fragrance is stunning. Sex. It is rose. It is patchouli. It's musk. It's leather. This is coming from the house of Guerlain, and this is Patchouli Ardent. Patchouli Ardent. Now, this fragrance right here, what I would almost say about Patchouli Ardent is if you have, it's like a combination of two different fragrances to me. Like sort of like at times it smells like this one fragrance I like, then at times it smells like another fragrance, but it's almost like the little brother of Frederick Mahl's The Moon. It's like the little brother of The Moon from Frederick Mahl, but not really. Then at times I get this almost like fig tea, dark fig tea kind of leather fig tea kind of thing that I get in Le Labo Noir 29. So at times I get that, then it'll disappear, and then I'm like, no, it's kind of The Moon. Then I'll be like, no, it's more Le Labo, and then I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little bit of both. That's kind of what I get out of this. This is stunning. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. I have in YouTube shopping, I have a link for it to get down below for the best price that I've seen it for. But this is leather. Musk is clean. It's fresh. Musk is good. Musk leans on the feminine at times. Rose leans on the feminine at time. Although when you look back in history, rose was considered a masculine note. Kings wore rose. At some point during modern Western history, rose just became a woman thing. But over time through perfumery, I think we're getting back to rose and masculinity. But that rose, that feminine, that blooming pink rose in combination wrapped with leather accord with some musk, some spices. I think pink pepper might be in here, maybe. Or red currant. It's like pink pepper. It might be pink pepper in here. Absolutely. Patchouli Ardent is a absolute sleeper. How many sprays on this? I normally do about 5. I normally don't go over 5 on this. When I wear something like this, the reason why I don't spray a lot is if I'm on a date or I'm trying to attract people where I'm going, I'm hopefully, if I'm out solo dolo and I'm trying to go to the bar and I want to engage with the opposite sex, right? At some point, I'm hoping I can have a conversation with somebody, right? If that's my goal, which means I'm gonna have to get close to them anyway. I want something that's in the air when I pass them. I need to use the dandy, which is the female part. That's that rose. It's going to get them. Every single time, it's going to get them. Rose will get them every time in the nose. It's going to draw their attention. It's going to spark, and they're going to be like, what is that? But then when they start smelling these ambery, leathery, masculine notes, and then they look at you and you look like a grown-ass man, now we talking. So now when you say, hey, is the seat taken? You're sitting beside them. You're having conversations. That's where the dandy comes in. Patchouli Ardent. Love it. Moving on. How y'all feeling? Let me get a sip of this Glenmorangie. We have how many in the chat? We have 160 in the chat. Somebody tell me how many likes. Y'all know I will take a pause break if the likes ain't up there. I want to see 120 likes at a minimum. 120. Somebody tell me how many likes I got while I get ready for the next fragrance. How many likes? I want to see the button. I'm not moving on till somebody tell me where we at. If you are watching this content and you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. It costs you nothing. It's free. But I figure if I'm putting you on to some stuff, I feel like y'all can show some love if I'm putting you on. That's it. I don't ask for much. 164. 99 likes, that is not enough, bro. I'm about to play music or end the live. It is literally free. It's free. It costs nothing to hit the like button. Even if you want to take it away, cool. It literally costs you nothing. You're watching the content, or I can just do what every other reviewer is doing and I give you a top 10 whatever and just do what everybody else is doing. You want new content. You want the reason, the science behind new content. You want something new, or you just want to watch the same old, let me talk about Valentino or something. If that's what you want, cool. Then just leave the chat and go watch that. That content is out there. My channel ain't for you. But I think y'all can at least give me a good 120. Not ask for much. I'm asking for about 120 likes. That's it. So I'll sit here. We can chat amongst ourselves. Some people gonna leave because I'll stretch this out. I don't care. I got number time. I'll stretch it out. People who really rock with me gonna stay in here because they want to hear about the rest of these fragrances. I'll stretch it out. We can sit here for 30 minutes. Call my bluff. I'm gonna sip and y'all ask me some questions. Tell those lights get up. I ain't talking about another fragrance. Tell those lights get up. We can sit in here and look at each other. 120 is the goal. 7 more likes. All right, let's get those 7 up. I'm telling you, we can look at each other. Well, I can just end the live. But y'all gonna start hitting the likes. Like, it costs you nothing. When you come in, just hit the like button, bro. 64. 164. Couple more likes. I mean, we got 160. No, it's 164 in here. 116 likes. I need 4 more. Give me 4 more likes. And we'll be at 120. 120 plus. All right, moving on. All right, moving on. Appreciate it. Shouldn't have to pull arms and legs just to get a like if you're enjoying the content and I'm putting you on the game. All right, moving on. This fragrance I discussed at ad nauseum. It's been on at least 3 or 4 lives. When it comes to sex appeal, when it comes to being interesting, when it comes to being intriguing, memorable, when it comes to the dandy of having both masculine and feminine, this fragrance has all elements of it, and I will continue to talk about this fragrance. This is also from the house of Guerlain, and this is Oud Nude. Oud Nude. The beauty about Oud Nude is it's extremely wearable, woody oud. Nothing animalic. It's raspberry rose that slightly teeters on being jammy, but not so much. Not so much where it's crazy, but it's there. It has that vanilla in there. That almost spiritualise double vanille that lingers kind of in the background, that Guerlain vanilla. Bro, when I say nude oud is sexy as hell, bro. This screams, woman, I'm the man, come taste me. I taste amazing. Like, if you're in the corner being mysterious, you ain't saying much, you enjoying your drink, and they smell this, you will be the most interesting man in the room. It just works. It's not too extravagant where it's doing too much. It does the little things right and leaves an amazing scent trail. Listen, it absolutely works. There's another Guerlain I could have put on here. I just don't have the bottle yet, which I was going to get it, which is Cherry Oud. I'm inevitably going to add that to the collection. I'm just not pressed to get it, and I haven't seen it for a price that I want it for. But Oud Nude, chef's kiss. Seduction in a bottle, the masculine and feminine, the dandy. How many sprays on this? About 6. I do about 6 on there. It's not a room filler, but it makes its presence known. Imagine walking by somebody, sitting beside somebody. If it's a room filler fragrance and I'm sitting beside you, the people beside you are going to be getting nose blind. They're going to get smacked in the face with perfume. I don't want that. I want you to smell a little bit of me and want to get closer to smell some more. This is why I don't need a fragrance to last 8, 9, 10, 12 hours. I almost want my fragrance to last 4 hours. Why is that? Because the first 2 hours is the most important hours when it comes to seduction. You're going to hug somebody. They're going to smell you. Scent memory burnt into their memory on how they smelt you, but not just how you smelled when they gave you the first hug, how your body felt, your back muscles, your shoulders, your arms, the depth of your chest. All of this is burnt in a scent memory when they smell a fragrance like this. If it goes away, they're going to be like, oh, I don't smell it as much, but that was so pleasant. I want to smell more of it. They have to come in. There's a science behind it. Oud Nude, the dandy, the art of seduction. Get yourself a sample. Go to your Neiman Marcus or whoever sells Guerlain. Smell it. Put it on skin. It might not blow you away as, oh my God, I smell fragrances like this. I get it. It's not that unique if you've been into a lot of rose oud fragrances, but put it on skin and you will find it becomes a narcotic on your skin. You will find yourself smelling it and going back to your wrist every day. And that's how I got a bottle. I was like, it's cool. And for hours, I kept doing this for hours because it kept drawing me in like a narcotic. Oud Nude from Guerlain. Moving on. Next up on the list, when you start talking about vanilla is an aphrodisiac. Then you start talking about oud. You start talking about leather nuances, florals, spices. All of this harkens back to scent memory that you want to open up somebody. You want to disarm them with these comfort. People, you know how you ever heard of somebody say comfort foods? This is how gourmands somewhat work. You get that comfort. This is how vanillas work. You open them, you just open up their guard because it's comforting. You ever walk into a house that smells of vanilla? It's very warm. You just feel like you should relax there. And that's what this fragrance does. From the house of Electimuss, this is Spicez de Arno. Spicez de Arno from the house of Electimuss. This is vanilla. I feel like I get a little bit of suede, a little bit of leather in here. Spices, cardamom, I believe, is in here. Maybe a little bit of nutmeg. It's kind of fresh up top, bright up top. But as it wears down, that this suede, oud, vanilla, leather kind of thing really shows its head. So you have this freshness up top, and then it warms up near the end. This is one where I go more about 6, maybe 8 sprays of this, depending on where I'm at. Do I have the wind? This is turtleneck, scully kind of fragrance. This is the dandy. The vanilla is what plays. The spices is a warm, inviting feeling. Reminds you of baking or cooking. Might remind you of your grandmother, an experience, the cooking shelf, Christmas, the holidays, Thanksgiving. It harkens back to that. But then it has the masculinity of the woods in the base, the oud, things of that nature. The dandy, Electimuss, is one of the dandies in the art of seduction. Moving on. Where I'm going to go next? We can go here. This fragrance, when I first got my nose on it from my Connect in Maryland, I was like, I like this. I said, I got to get a bottle of this. I bought it immediately. This fragrance, I do about 4 sprays on this. 4 sprays. This is oud. And during this time of year, oud is almost king. When you want to add the masculine, you want to add the exotic nature of it. Middle Eastern perfumery, although it's becoming more common because of clone houses and the promotion of clone houses and clone fragrances being everywhere and those coming from the Middle East, it's kind of not as exotic as it used to be. But that's when you have to find high quality stuff that doesn't smell like those fragrances that take you into another place. This fragrance does that. Plum, I want to be is one of the top notes in this particular fragrance. It's dark, it's mysterious, it's enchanting. This is from the House of Mind Games. This is Mentor. Mentor from the House of Mind Games. This one is a little bit heavier. So with this, I go about 4 sprays if I want to be enchanting. About 4. I don't do over 4. Now, if I'm going somewhere and I'm just kind of just want to wear this fragrance out and I'm going to be, let's say, somewhere where I'm competing with a lot of fragrances, that also matters. Am I competing? Am I going to a cigar lounge, right? Where I'm going to be in there, it's a cigar event or a bourbon event where I'm going to be competing with a lot of different odors, right? Then I might go about 6 to 8. Depending on the level of competition I'm going to be around on this, because it's a little bit denser. But this has this underlying booziness with this plum in here. The oud, I believe it's called Oya Oud. It's just a nice woody, nothing animalic, extremely wearable. It's kind of like incense, a little smoky in here. It almost gives off this fruity shisha with this Middle Eastern exotic smoke with the ambery woods. Mentor is an amazing fragrance. It's borderline delicious and mouth-watering, but has some regality to it. Just very like royal, very royal. It gives off a royal feel. And that's why I like oud. Absolutely amazing. One of the dandies in the art of seduction. It plays on that rose, that plum, these dark, sweet fruits with the dry woods, adding that masculine and feminine. Mentor, one of the dandies. Moving on. Yeah, let me talk about this one. This is a fragrance that is extremely fruity. Extremely fruity. That's the beauty of its fragrance, and it leans towards the feminine. It's a fruity, like heavy on the fruits. And not just any fruits. It uses fruits like strawberry, raspberry. It's sweet, but that sweetness also has this mysterious dark edge with these oudy, woody, dry notes. And this comes from GetRight Fragrances. And this is Berry Oud. Berry Oud. This one was sent to me for those who say I need to disclose it. This was sent to me. Along with Midnight Raspberry and Spicez and Arno also came from the brand. So take that with a grain of salt. If you don't believe me, cool, but I'm not about to argue about it. This fragrance has been a wonder to wear when it's cool. Wear this out at night. This is one I like to wear out at night, but if it's a little bit cooler outside, where, it's the daytime, or you're going to be, it's heavy winds and you're going to be leather jacket, scarf, things of that nature, you can wear this in the daytime. But it's not really, this isn't one I want to really wear to work. Actually, none of these I really want to wear to work. These are nighttime fragrances. These are seduction hours. When they say the freaks come out at night, Houdini, the freaks come out at night. Yeah, bro, nighttime vibes. Very fruity, very berry. I believe blackberry or blueberry might be in here along with the strawberry. So you have these, I believe some citruses in here as well. So you got this melange of fruit cocktails with juxtaposition of woods. Stunning fragrance. Leaves a good scent trail in the sillage. This is more sweeter than some of the other fragrances. So that, I'm not going to say bubblegum sweet, but it's a tad bit sweeter when it comes to wearing this. This is a fragrance I do about anywhere 4 to 6. It's kind of where I'm at when I wear this fragrance. Again, I'm attempting to seduce. I'm not trying to fill a room. If you want to fill a room, put about 10 sprays on it and everybody will know you wearing that. I don't like walking out the house and I don't need to do that to get attention, right? I just don't feel like I need to do that. And unless I'm in a space where, like a New Year's Eve event, where I'm going to be around a lot of people who are drunk or are going to be drinking. It's a gala. Most people got hotels upstairs because the gala's in the basement. So I might be spending the night at the event through the gala. You don't know what's going to happen if that's kind of what your thing is. Then I'm gonna be loud in that. I want everybody to smell me, right? No matter where I go, because that's a party event, right? It's a party. It's like everybody's getting to it. You can be a little bit loud there. You kind of want to be loud there. That's just a different kind of vibe. But this, when I'm saying you're going to dinner, maybe you're going to go to dinner on a 2nd or 5th date. I never believe in going to dinner on a first date. First date dinners are goofy to me. First date dinners are too performative. And I'll get into that after my list because I want to keep the list simple for editing. But after this video, I'll get into why I don't like dinner on a first date. But anyway, that's Berry Oud from GetRight Fragrances. Moving on. Let me go here next. This is another fragrance. This is a fragrance. The next fragrance is a fragrance from a house that I've talked about already. This is probably, or at least a couple of years ago, was ranked on the list. I did my top 5 or top 10 rose fragrances, period. This is definitely up there. This is rose and oud, but it uses all the fruits, coffee. Oh man. Oh, it's sexy. You want to talk about mystery? It's sexy. And that's Fakama. From Spirit of Dubai. You get that warmth, that coffee is here. And the way the coffee blends with this rose, like coffee rose, is very interesting. But you have some fruits up there. You have amber. You have woods. This is just, it's like clean, warm. It's extremely warm, but it's also clean. But it also has some sweetness to it. There's a lot of complexity going on in this fragrance, and you're getting a whole bunch of different nuances that will trigger emotion. And that's what you want when you want to be the dandy from the art of seduction. You want to trigger the emotions. You want to tap in to the feminine side, right? Which is the rose. You want to tap in to the warmth, to disarm, which is going to be your musk, which is going to be your fruits, which is going to be your coffee. They always say, wake up the Folgers in your cup. Something about coffee that just wakes people up, right? You don't even have to be a coffee drinker, because I'm not. But sometimes the smell of roasted coffee beans will kind of wake you up. And that's what this is. This wears so damn sexy. And it don't need a lot of sprays. About 4 sprays. About 4 sprays is where I'm at with this. Again, a lot of things come down to where I'm at and what I'm doing. If I'm going to a cigar lounge, I might do 6 to 8, maybe. I don't know if I'm doing that much. I'm kind of chilling, but I might do about 8. And depending on where and how many people and who you sitting around, you might be able to up it to 10. But I think at that point, you can just choose another fragrance to wear. But Fakama from the Spirit of Dubai. Amazing fragrance. Moving on. Why not? This next fragrance, I don't think you can really talk about seduction, sweet, and y'all gonna start seeing a theme here. And yes, the theme matters. People who say Oud doesn't get compliments don't know what the hell it is they talking about. They're oblivious to what's going on. Listen, and I'm cool with that. Wear your Paco Rabanne and just stay away from the rest of us and let the rest of us move. Watch us work. This fragrance could be arguably one of the best, arguably, not for me, one of the best amber fragrances on the market. It uses amber, but it uses ambergris as the one of amber. It's oud, it's rose, it's fig. This is sex in a bottle. From the house of Roja, this is Amber Oud. Amber Oud. Oh, bro. Can you say date night, sex appeal, seduction, allure, enchantment without saying Amber Oud? Sweet fruits, rose, ambergris, woods, a little bit of musk, some leather nuances. It just, the way this wears on skin, it is not too loud. It's subtle. I read the excerpt in the book. Subtleties work. It works for a reason. When you are subtle, when you're wearing your fragrance and you smell good, when they can barely smell it, there's an air of confidence that goes with that. Women love confident men. There's a thin line between confident and cocky. You have to learn where that line is for you. It's going to be different for everybody else. You got to learn where that line is for you. But I think a fragrance that has feminine elements in a way of disarming the person you want to smell it is also presenting in making your rough exterior a little bit more approachable and softer. And that matters when wearing a fragrance and you want to be seductive. You want to be approachable. You want to feel like somebody can talk to you without getting cursed out. You want to be pleasant. Pleasant brings memories. It disarms the person who just can't help but to compliment you. Roja Amber Oud does that. Stunning. Perfumery, date night. Listen, you can be married and you should be still trying to seduce your wife when you go home, your girl. You could be in a 10-year relationship. Are y'all not trying to seduce each other? So this ain't always for the single man. Keep it spicy. Role play. You know what I'm saying? Role play. You know what I mean? Have fun with it. Amber Oud. You should still be, if you're a man, because most of my watchers are male, you should still be trying to seduce your significant other every single day. You should be trying to turn her on all the time. She should probably grab your hind parts. You know how the old people say your hind parts. So when you walk by her, she should want to grab your hind parts because she like, damn, I kind of want some of that. You know, when you're probably in a long-term relationship, you got to make plans like, hey, can I get on the calendar for some of that? Make it happen. Whatever you got to do. Get you some. Get some. Amber Oud. Seduction in the bottle. Moving on. We got three more. Let me just go ahead and continue to stay with the house. When you talk about, hold on, let me get some of these strips away from me. Get a new strip. All right, so next one, we're going to go ahead and stay with the house. When you want to talk about comforting, every now and then you want to do something that teeters, if not goes full-on gourmand. But I think there's a way you can do that without smelling like cupcakes and full-on bakery, right? You can do something warm, inviting, neck nibbling, sweet, What more can I say? This is Sweetie Oud from the House of Roja. This is the new presentation. I prefer the old presentation, but this is what they selling now. Y'all know the feeling on this. Baked goods, like a warm pastry cooking. And listen, I could easily put I could easily put my top 10 Rojas on this list. Easily put. It is one fragrance I got in mind. Lost in Paris could have easily made this list. But then it'd be like all Rojas, or, is what it is. But this one here isn't full-fledged. It has really strong gourmand elements. And I'm not doing a video on like edible gourmands, because I can probably do a video on that. Really good edible neck nibbling fragrances. I can do a video on that. With this video, the dandy, it is about seducing and seduction. It is about tapping into different things in order to disarm the smeller who is smelling you, right? To open them up to conversations. Warm, right? And this has all elements of it. Some florals, sweetness, borderline gourmand, warm, baking, cookie, neck nibbling, but masculine with a woody ambery base. Sweetie Oud. It just works. Anybody who's owned it can vouch for Sweetie Oud in crowds. It is seduction in a bottle. But Roja does that, because the Roja is never room. Well, I ain't gonna say never, but at least the ones I have aren't room filling. They are sillage kings. They attract. And because they're interesting and complex, attaches to scent memory. They might not remember what you were wearing, but they're going to remember how you smelt. That's why wearing a fragrance is important. They'll never remember what you're wearing. They will always remember how you smelt. And how you smelt will also make them remember how you made them feel at the time. That's important. If you're a jackass, scent memory won't work. But if you're pleasant, good conversations, intellect, and you smell good, it's a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Sweetie Oud. Moving on. I don't know why I can't see. I know y'all been typing. I don't know why I can't see the comments, the chat, and the on the screen. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get that back working. Because people been chatting and I can't see over there. We're gonna move on. We got two more. Let me take a sip real quick. Good stuff, man. Single malt today. No bourbon, single malt whiskey. Good stuff. All right, moving on. This next fragrance is, out of all the fragrances from this line, this was my favorite. This is my favorite from this special line of this house. Very simplistic on the note breakdown. You have one of my favorite notes when it comes to I want to seduce. When I want to seduce, there's something very drunken, very boozy about the note of plum anytime it's in a fragrance. It's just very boozy. Now you take that rich, dark, mysterious, enchanting note, and then you add some sandalwood, maybe a little bit of musk, and you just have a simplistic winner. This comes from the house of Cartier, and this is Oud Santal. Oud Santal from the house of Cartier. This here, man, it's just simple, clean, a little bit of sweetness, not too sweet. Listen, everybody who says Oud does not get compliments have trash Oud. It just is what it is. I stopped listening. I stopped listening to those people. If they just say Oud don't get compliments, rather they're new to the fragrance game and they just don't know better. I look at their age. Their age matters. It matters. I don't know if I'm per se walking around smelling like oud in my 20s or 25s. So I expect certain things from young people. To me, young people. I'm in my mid 40s. I call them young people, right? I expect certain things. I'm I expect certain things to come out their mouth, right? They don't know no better. And it's just not for them yet. And that's okay. It don't make me better than them. But I know who my core audience is based on algorithm, right? This is simple, bro. This is dry, woody, burning the smell of sandalwood is very spiritual. Has spiritual qualities to it. Well, oud does too. So when you add the spirituality of it, which is very zen almost, and you throw plum on there, you have a little bit of smoke from Oud Santal from the house of Cartier. Absolute winner. Now, this one, I'm going to go anywhere from 4 to 6. It's kind of where I'm going to be at with this. Sometimes 3. It creeps. I like peekaboo fragrances. I don't need it all day, every day. I know what I smell like. Worst case scenario, if I have to smell it, I'll put it on the back of my hand or my wrist because I actually wash my hands. So I might put it on my wrist just that way I talk with my hands. I will get a waft of it if I really need to smell it again. But I know what I smell like. I've worn it enough. It ain't really about me no more. It's about how other people experience your fragrance. They're not going to smell all the notes and the nuances. They're going to get one huge accord, and that's the sexy MFer accord. They're going to smell it, and they're going to be like, damn, smell good. How are you tonight? I'm fine. How are you doing tonight? What you drinking on? Would you like something to drink? You come here often? How often have you been here? How was your day today? How was your day today? Be interesting. Sit in the book. You don't want to be self-absorbed, right? You want to get into the mind of the person. What better way than to ask questions and be actually interested in the questions you're asking? Hey, how was your day today? You at the bar and you ask somebody and you genuine and it comes off as genuine. You really say, how was your day? But you're really interested. You'd be surprised how many people open up to you. But y'all be on the internet. Y'all don't go outside, touch grass. Learn to talk to people. You should make it a habit that you talk to at least 5 people a day. For those who are more introverts, I get it. It's kind of a thing. But make it a habit just to talk to 5 people. Hold a conversation with 5 people today. You want to learn how to talk to people? Talk to 5 people today. It could be about nothing. Have 5 conversations. It can be small. It can be minute. It can be minute. It can be, hey, how's the day? Hey, you watched the football? You watched that game yesterday? Hey, man, Dodgers. It's simple. Hey, man, how your day? How you doing, brother? Just have a conversation, man. Learn how. That's how you learn how to network. That's how you learn. Just have 5 conversations a day with total strangers. 5 total strangers. That would, if I was doing a dating a man class, I would make my students, you have to have 5 conversations a day with people. And it got to be strangers you don't know to get out your comfort zone. Have 5 different conversations and have them every day about nothing. And if you can do that, you can be successful in work, life, dating scene. You're just going to find success in your life. That's why I don't pay attention to people who say, these reviewers don't get compliments. Yeah, some people don't. I agree. Some of them I can look at and be like, y'all don't be outside. You're not getting the compliment. I don't believe you. I don't believe you based on what you're saying about fragrances, how many sprays you're saying, and just your whole, you just don't move like a person that happens for. I'm not believing you. And then there's some people I say, okay, I get it. I can see how they talk, how they present. Like, I can just tell. Oud gets compliments. I don't care what nobody say. Moving on. The last fragrance on this list, and then I'll get into an off conversation on why I hate the first date being dinner. I think it's just too performative. This fragrance is one I added in 2025. Yeah, I added this in 2025. This fragrance has been compared to another fragrance. Yes, it is a oud fragrance. It has been compared to another fragrance from this house. I do not see the similarities. It does not wear like the other fragrance. Sure, I mean, I guess if I want to reach for straws because it's rose oud, I guess I can say they smell alike. But they're not. And when I talk about this fragrance, I'm gonna tell you why they're nothing alike. And I don't even understand why they should really be compared. But scent memory is a powerful thing, so I understand why people compare them. I just think they're wrong, and that's okay. Coming from the house of Boadicea the Victorious, this is Alif. Alif. Now, this has been compared to Nimr from Boadicea the Victorious. These two are nothing alike. Nimr is bright and fresh in the opening with lemongrass, I believe lemon or bergamots up top. I believe it's lemon up top. It's very citric forward up top. The rose used in the mirror is bright, which supports the citruses. The oud that dominates the life of the fragrance is extremely buttery, woody, smooth, dry, a little peppery to me. This is very rich and dark up top. This has plum, I believe raspberry. The rose is slightly jammy. Citrus, rose, totally separate. The oud here on first spray on skin, it's not listed when you try to look up the house, but I can almost guarantee you this is probably Cambodian oud. Cambodian oud hits different from the way the oud hits in the mirror. So the oud within itself wears different. This is more ambery, red fruits. It almost comes off a little animalic, dare I say, in the beginning, a hint, just a small hint of being fecal. But that only lasts for like a minute, like literally like 2 minutes. There's a small etch in it, which Cambodian oud can do. Nimr has none of that. As it dries down and that animalic kind of nature blends in and comes in smoother with the musk and the rose and the dark fruits, this becomes very resinous, supported by a slight jammy experience. And it's very just dark and mysterious. The rose here, although jammy, pops. It pops. Now, Bulgarian rose, rose centifolia, all those roses, people don't understand. In real life, those roses are pink, dark pink blooming. But when you smell the plum in the rose in this, it's almost drenched. It almost comes off like if I could put a color on the fragrance with the rose pairing, it would be a picture of a almost purplish, black, purplish, reddish rose on black leather. I believe tuberose is in here, adding this sweetness to it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tuberose. And that tuberose adds some of that feminine quality with the jasmine in here in the regular rose. With like setting on this like wood table, like some John Wick kind of bar thing. This is sexy as hell, bro. I wouldn't wear this in a high heat in the middle of summer. Nimr, I would wear in the middle of summer. I actually would wear Nimr is signature scent worthy. I'll wear that anytime, and it wears different depending on the temperature. This is for the winter. This is for the cooler weather. This is rich, mysterious, and because it's Boadicea, you're going to get great longevity. I keep it around no more than 4 sprays on this, depending on where I'm going. Again, on a date, I might just do 3. A bar, I don't go over 6. But 6 might be pushing it, but it depends on what kind of bar I'm at. A speakeasy, is it loud? Like it's a lot of different variables that I take into consideration with sprays. So it's no one thing fits all unless you're something like Blue Sapphire, then it's like 2 sprays and I don't care what you're doing. 4 at the most. But 4 is like crazy. You're kind of psychotic. Anyway, Alif is the last fragrance in this Art of Seduction series called The Dandy. Seduction in the bottle, playing on the masculine and feminine taste. With that being said, those are my top, 12 seduction, sexual, sex in a bottle appeal fragrances that is part of my Art of Seduction series in the part of the dandy. And for those who just came on, my Art of Seduction series is based on things that Robert Greene talks about in the Art of Seduction book. And we'll go on and do other ones based on what those different archetypes are in the Art of Seduction. But that's the dandy. And that's going to be all I have to say. Be sure to hit that like button if you're leaving before we carry the conversation on to something else. And if that's what you were here for, I appreciate you tuning in. Check me out. Listen, there's no reason why you shouldn't be subscribed to the content. I think I'm giving y'all something new, something different. And if you like this and you want to see more of this, subscribe, show love, show the world this is what you want to see. And you're tired of seeing the same old top 10s. Or maybe you aren't, and that's cool too. But I appreciate you stopping by. Hit the like button on your way out. Peace. Moving on. Let's talk. Let's chat for a little while where I'm at. I'm at 1 hour and 21 minutes. All right, that's cool. I'll give you like 20 minutes of my time. I'm again, the Art of Seduction book. There's certain books I read and I'm looking at them from over here. Robert Greene has one called The Daily. I forgot the name of it. It's like throughout the year, every day throughout the year, every day of the month, you read a section in the book and it has a day and it has. I'll bring it up on my next live. I just don't feel like getting up and going to get it. I read that. That's like a daily. Every year you kind of read that. What's another good book? The 12X Rule. I think it's a great one to have. Trying to think what else I got up there. Body language, reading body language is a good one. You'll understand when you read body language, how body language is part of reading the subconscious. And when you know how to read the subconscious, you know how to affect people in a positive or negative way. Depends on how you want to trigger somebody. If you want to purposely trigger somebody negatively, you can pay key points off of that. The subconscious is how somebody can tell if you lying, if they really, really good at reading the subconscious, because the subconscious is incapable of lying. You cannot lie with the subconscious. How you move your eyes when you speak is part of the subconscious. Are you tapping into the creative side or you're tapping into the suppressed side of your mind? Your eyes won't lie. You can just tell. Are their arms crossed? Are they leaning back? Are they leaning forward? Are they kind of face towards you, but their legs are crossed? They're not as open, and legs are facing away from you. They're not as open. Or where they kind of facing towards you, you say something and then the legs turn. There's certain things, and I don't have time to go through it all. There's certain things when reading the body where you can almost become a human lie detector test. And you can just tell when somebody bullshitting you. You can just tell. When you read, like anybody who saw, if you study the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky interview, Bill Clinton, when they said, if you study his mouth, the way his mouth was moving, if you study the way what his eyes were doing when he did that interview and on certain questions, you can see when those questions triggered him. You can see when he started lying. You can see when he felt a little bad and depressed. These are key figures when you really study that and you've been trained to do that and you kind of can see what that is, like psychological warfare kind of thing. You can kind of be like, oh, you're bullshitting me. And then when you want to extract information, then you can play on that if you really know what it is, if you're trying to extract information. You can be like, oh, okay, I said something good. Oh, I didn't say something. Oh, I said something that made you ashamed. Okay, let's tap into why you feel ashamed. Let's get into that. Uh-oh, you're closing down. Okay, let me get off of that. Let me circle back on that. It's psychological warfare. Kind of is. If you kind of know what it is you're looking at, what you're doing. But when you get into books like that, you get into books of body language. When you start looking, like sometimes just sit down and look at people and study people. Study human nature. And the reason why you want to study, and sometimes people do this without knowing they are doing this. If you're in the hood, you study human nature. And the reason you want to study human nature and human behavior, because you will create a baseline norm. And when you create a baseline norm, when things don't fit into that baseline norm, you know something's wrong. That's how, if you're in the hood, you're standing on the corner, you chilling, all of a sudden you see a car, that car circled the block 1 or 2 times, the tent is down, but the third time it's coming up, the tent windows roll down, you can see maybe you like, oh, I see the tent roll down, I seen that tag come by here 3 or 4 times, that back door is almost semi-open like somebody ready to jump out. Oh, this is going to be the jump out or somebody about to spray the block. It's time for me to leave. Like, or it's time for me to grab the straps and get to shooting at the joint. Whatever it is you into. But it's why? Because normal people don't do that, because you created a baseline norm for your environment, whatever your environment is. So then when somebody does something, when you study human nature and you study environments, you create a baseline norm. And that way, when things aren't in the norm, you know when it's wrong. Anybody who's been in combat, you understand. Oh, something's wrong. People are going in the house. Why are they going in the house? Why are people? It might be IED on the side of the road. We might need to, it's a lot of different things which trigger that. Some can be based on trauma, which we all have a portion of trauma that we work through, but there's just a lot of studying human behavior and baseline norms. This is why I don't like first dates being dinners, because it's too goddamn performative. It's performative. Why is it performative? If I'm going on the first, let's say I'm going at STK Steakhouse, right? Or whatever, right? Del Frisco's or something. And I say, I'm taking you out. She's going to put on her best outfit, her base makeup, her best eyelashes, her best lipstick, wear her sexiest dress, all performative bullshit. That's not how she looked 90% of the time. And in her mind, she going to say, oh, I'm getting dressed up for this mother. He better be worth it. So it's like already somewhat of a negative kind of like tense kind of thing. It could be if it's a first date and y'all ain't really talked and got a good baseline. And then when you get dressed, you're not going in there just wearing the sweatpants. Well, you're going to say, man, I'm going to get my best outfit. I'm going to get my best cologne. You probably don't may or may not smell like that all the time. You don't get the fresh haircut. It's all performative bullshit. This ain't really who people are. So sometimes you got to siphon through the bullshit when you're trying to learn who somebody really is. You got to learn to siphon through that, right? It's too much performative bullshit. It just is. It's not authentic. I don't like first dates to be, because it's basically what you end up doing when you're at a dinner table sitting across from each other. It's basically an interview. No matter how you look at it or like it, you're giving each other an interview. You're asking questions, but you're asking questions in such a way that you're trying to extract information. If you're not really good at doing that, then it just becomes an interview. And if the person picks up on that because they're really good at it and they know that you're doing that to them, it can turn them off. Or they can say, oh, this motherfucker trying to interview me. Okay, I'm about to play the game now. Oh, you want to play the game? Okay, I'm play the game. You think I'm stupid? I do this. You can't do this. I do this. I do this on a high level. Okay, cool. Let's play that game. And then it's just a whole bunch of BS. And then it's like, I don't feel like this. I'm cool. I'm moving on. If you make it non-performative environment, if you make it a non-performative environment, you get more who the people are. So you say, hey, you do it in the daytime. Why do I like meeting in the daytime for the first date? Because you take away the expectations from her that you're just there to somewhat clap cheeks, right? Because most people associate nighttime. Oh, and then at night at a restaurant, you're probably drinking. So you're drinking and you're a bit inebriated. So you're not in your right mind when you're talking, you're interviewing, you're looking at behavior changes, you're looking at red flags. You're not even on your A game because now you're drinking. This first date is bullshit for dinner. It's bullshit. So if you meet at somewhere like, say, hey, it's a Saturday. What you doing? If you ain't doing nothing, I'm going to be over at the park at so-and-so. They got a little ice cream stand. If you want to meet me there, I'm going to do my normal 2-4 hour walk around the lake. Maybe we can get some ice cream afterwards if you want to meet me. All right. You take away the sex part out of it. If she thinks you're there for sex or if you think she's there for sex, whatever you're into, you eliminate that unless you're like cool with like sex in the parking lot, which ain't nothing wrong with that. But daytime sex in the parking lot, that's crazy. Don't, you know what I mean? But you kind of take away. So you lowered that part of it. You lower the whole getting dressed up in performative measures, because if she shows up to that park with a whole bunch of makeup and a whole bunch of BS, then you can kind of probably write her off. You could be like, yeah, you on bullshit. Or if he shows up in some jeans and you in some joggers and a workout fit, like you can be like, bro, what the fuck he show up like this for? Like, it's just ways to like, and they ain't getting all dolled up. You ain't getting all dolled up. It takes the pressures off meeting people. Money ain't on the table. Resources aren't being exposed or expensed. So it's like she's not wasting her resources on getting dressed and getting dolled up. You're not wasting your resources on money or really time. Like it eliminates that and makes that into a really like smooth meetup. And at that point, people can be themselves, non-performative, and just talk. While taking that walk and just talking, and you got to look at the animal kingdom. I'm a dog guy, right? And for those people who train dogs and understand how dogs work is, when you get dogs and you want to create a pack, people are pack kind of behavior. They use pack behaviors. We're animals, but on a different scale. But on a lower sense, we're animals. We're a form of being animals. We just have a sense of intelligence, right? The way packs grow or leadership impacts work is walks. If you have a house of 2 dogs or have a house where you already have a dog and you bought a new dog, you should never bring that new dog into your house, because the other dog, that is his territory, his or her territory. You don't have them meet at the house because there's already a level of protection there. You meet at a neutral site. Neither dog owns it. You never meet them face up. The first thing you should do is go for a walk. If you have a dog that's a little aggressive, put a muzzle on him or her, or on both of them. Put muzzles on both of them if you want to be safe because you think they might like go at each other, and just go for a walk. Of course, you're the pack leader, and you'll find that when you're the pack leader, you're confident, you're taking both on a walk, and you're just going for a nice 20, 30-minute walk, 20-minute, 25-minute walk, that pack order comes in line. In the military, we go on road marches, ruck marches. There's a sense of called leadership walks. There's a pack mentality with a ruck march. You don't understand it. You don't know what's happening. It's all a part of psychological programming, but people don't know what's happening when it's happening to them. But it's just something about taking a walk lowers people's expectations. It makes people calm, and they can get to just know each other without the bullshit. The walk. And during that walk, y'all talking, somebody might say something stupid, dumb, a red flag pop up, and you can say, hey, it was nice meeting you or whatever like this, you know what I mean? Maybe I'll call you a little bit later and we'll see what's going on. And you just be like, you think about it, you be like, there's too many red flags in that conversation. I'm cool on that. Yeah, you know, you call me, I don't think this is gonna work. I ain't want to ghost you, but you know, I just think we're better off as friends. I don't really see you as a lover or somebody I can be sexually attracted to. I see you more as a friend, and I don't want to waste your time more than I want you to waste my time. My time is precious and I respect your time. I just don't know if it's going to go any further. And you just take that rejection or whatever and you go on with life. It cost you nothing. It wasn't performative. It cost you nothing. And you will have a high level of success there. Weeding out a lot of BS. What happens is most people go on dates. First date, a guy's paying. So now you created this nuance that I'm always paying. And you're just creating this illusion that isn't even real and is extremely performative. And now it's performative because now you have to keep up this performative. Now I need to see you dressed up all the time. And then when I see you one time and like, oh my God, you got alopecia. I didn't see that because all the makeup was hiding or whatever. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. It's all BS. And now people are just keeping up with this facade and this performance and this bullshit. So learn to just cut through the BS. And I say all that to say that's why I think first dates at for dinner is just a bunch of BS because it's all performative nonsense. But again, do it however you do it. This is my 2 cents based on a lot of different knowledge, a lot of different books I read, understanding sociology, understanding the way the human mind works, understanding human behavior, how human behavior actually ultimately works, and how the consciousness and the subconscious works in the mind, and how it's performed out, understanding confirmation biases and things of that nature, and how that works in morality, and how morality can be viewed, and how each person can view that differently. Like, can you sacrifice 10 people to save 1,000? But that's still morally wrong because you say you shouldn't kill, but can you kill 10 people to save 10,000? I don't know. That's a moral question. Can you rationalize that? It's deep, but you have to just understand how the mind works to understand why that's important. But anywho, that's why and that's all I'm gonna say about that for today's video. We're coming up on an hour and 37 minutes. Now I'm gonna look at the comments. And again, you know, I always say it, I always just don't want to do when it comes to my content, a regular just top 10 and be done. But I do understand that the bulk of the 17,400 people who support my content started supporting my content via fragrances. I don't necessarily want to go into the whole relationship thing, but what I do recognize is that from a growth standpoint, from an algorithm standpoint, I'm not stupid. I understand that top 10 sexies, top 10 panty droppers kind of move y'all. But as I watch some of that content that I view to be bullshit, I don't think it's a lot of, in a quick 20 minutes or 15 minutes, they're not really giving you the science behind why you should do what you do and why that works. So I figure I give you the science, right? There's 2 types of people. There's OGs and there's just old motherfuckers. There's a lot of just old people. They ain't really OGs. OGs are going to put you on the game. They're going to help. And I noticed that I have a lot of young people. Some don't have fathers, never had fathers, never had mentors, never had OGs. I've had enough inbox messages to know that, like, when some call me Unc, they be like, damn, you made the way. Even just people saying, you know, you made the way. Don't change your opinions, just be yourself. That people say, hey, watching your videos changed my mindset on how I purchase fragrances. I like hearing shit like that because I think it's just consumerism. The Gas Studio, Keenom Rose EQ, look it up. Let me see. Let me look it up. I'm gonna take a pause break and see what my guy talking about. ELK H ALDI. If I can find it. Sense. Okay. I can look at the bottle and tell that these Atars, Nectaroid, Queenon Rose or Queenon Rose, It's out of stock right now. Rosy, oody, creamy, incense, spicy, prominent note, Taif rose. I love a good Taif rose. White rose auto. So your rose auto is going to be your rose centrifolio. That's going to be more of your citrus rose. You got geranium. Geranium can come off a little minty. It can come off a little green. Sometimes I find geranium when paired to a really good rose to almost smell like a cut rose stem, a wet cut rose stem, and compare it to the rose. So I like that. Patchouli Oud, never heard of that. Hanan, Quanon, Yunnan Oud, Triad Oud, Persian Oud, Pershini Oud, Godong Oud, ships from California. So okay, so this is more of a Chinese oud. It seemed like it is, because they talk about it here. Smokiness, assertive depth. I mean, it smells good. It smells sexy. Smells sexy. But it's sold out. This looks like a 30 ml. They got stock bottles. I'm not the biggest fan of stock bottles when I'm paying high end stuff, but I do understand that if they're using real ingredients like oud and stuff, yeah, 30 ml for $4.50. I don't know, bro. I'm kind of cool on that. I'm cool only because I'm sure it's good. But how many good fragrances do you need? It has to. I don't know. I'm probably cool on that. If he got a discovery set or something, which he probably don't, or if he want to reach out to me, he or she or the company want to reach out, we can probably smell the fragrances. But $4.50 for a 30 ml, that's, I'm not blind buying that. I'm just not blind buying that. And I just think my collection is just so freaking elite. And when I say elite, when I step out the house and I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do, it does what it does and it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? How much better can I get? You know what I mean? Patchouli Ardent might get worn tomorrow. Banger, man. That Oud Santal is a top fragrance in my collection. Yeah, man, it's good. If you like Mere Mystique by Welton London, Joel Maker's talking. All right. Yeah, so, as again, for those who might be new to my content, man, I try to do more than just top tens. I just try to put people on the game. I think, I don't want to always feel some kind of way when I feel like, at the end of the day, because I'm doing fragrance influencing, I guess you can call it that. I look at more like fragrance talking, but I do understand people going to buy what they want to buy. Sometimes I feel bad, like, or pushing a fragrance. I don't ever want to be I don't know. I just don't really want to be that person just because I don't know. I don't need this internet shit to live. The little bit of money I get on YouTube or whatever, or sponsorship, whatever I get, it's not even 1% of my earnings. I'm good. Like, I'm good. I can walk away from this and I'm good. I'm good. So, I'm not rich, but I'm happy. I don't think you have to be rich to be happy. I think the internet in comparison, stop comparing yourself to everybody else. Like you watching these fragrances behind me and maybe you comparing your fragrance of 10 and you're in admiration of this. And in your mind, you say, I want to get this. And I would say, no, you don't. Your collection of 10 can be better than my collection of a couple of hundred, if that works for you. Because I know my collection of a couple of hundred better than some people's collections of 1,000. I know that for a fact. I'm not going to debate it. You're only going to wear like one fragrance at a time unless you layering. And I just think when I walk out the house, I know I smell good. Like, I know I smell good. I don't need somebody to tell me this. I know. I got good taste. I smell unique. I smell good. And you just don't need, you can have 20 fragrances and your 20 can be top tier, better than most people who got 5,000 fragrances. A lot of them being redundant. A lot of them do a lot of the same things. Like, I like the Bulgari Tiger thing. I did the video on it. I don't need 10 different renditions of that. That's redundancy. I only need one. Whichever one, pick one, but I only need one. I didn't need the other 10. So that's 9 extra fragrances I don't need. I can eliminate out my collection when you talk about quality and quantity, and it's just. But you know, people chasing comparisons, and you know, it kind of does what it does. And I think comparisons is the death of mankind. I think it's the death of self-esteem. Comparisons, you know, your girl watching some relationship from some celebrity and she's calling it goals, only to find out that the man that she goes with got 4 babies on the way. Bro, you be like, oh, I thought that was goals last week. Stop following people you don't know as goals. You don't know these people in real life. It's all performative. Y'all don't know me in real life. I don't even know my middle name. Do I have one? You're only going to know what I give you. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it. It's the internet. Not to spoil future. What would be the next topic of the series? Next topic. Let me get the book. Let me see. Let me see who the next topic. Because the dandy was the second type. It might be the siren. Because you got the siren, the rake, the ideal lover, the dandy, the natural, the coquette, the charmer, the charismatic, the star. So I might do the siren. I might do the siren next. That might be the next. And then I'll read a little bit of the siren, the key characteristics of the siren, and then pick out 10 fragrances I think match the siren, and try to make it interesting. So I think that's going to be the next. I think I'm going to focus on the sirens next. We know who you talking about here. I don't know which part I said a lot of stuff, but in comparisons and stuff, I said a lot of stuff. I don't even know. Maybe somebody felt like I sent a shot somewhere, but I don't think I sent a shot nowhere. I would just send it. I wouldn't send it subliminal. I'll probably just send it. It's probably more, you know, if I'm sending a shot or you think it's a shot, it ain't at one person. It's the landscape. You know what I'm saying? I damn near can send a shot at the whole TikTok space. I think that space is wild. I think it's wild. I think that this shit is QVC. I trust nothing over there. When it comes to the fragrances, bro, unless it's like some of my folks who I rock with, I'll hit a like button. Some folks I already had a pre-relationship with, but the new stuff, bro, I'm just scrolling through that shit. I don't even, it pop up on my screen, fragrances, you know what the fuck you talking about. I just go, yeah, I'm moving. I'm cool. You can't introduce me to nothing I don't know. Plus, whatever know you got paid to talk about. I'm cool. Next. Like, that's kind of where it is. Oh, 4 babies on the way. Oh, yeah, that's Cardi B shit. Yeah, I mean, that ain't really a shot because I don't know people in real life. But yeah, she left Offset to be with Offset. You know what I'm saying? Rumor, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But there was people who call that joint goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were like, oh, this is goals. I'm so happy for it, bro. What? All right, cool. If you happy for it, cool, I guess. But anyway, it's getting late, y'all. It's getting late, and I got things to do. So we're going to go ahead and end this. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. The next series, I don't know when I'm going live again. I might go live this weekend, but I'm kind of busy. I think my next live might just be Monday night because volleyball season is over. The team lost today to a better team. So I might go live Monday. And we can get back to doing the Monday, Wednesday, Friday things. So I just, we'll figure it out. But I'm going to continue this series. I'm going to do the next one to be the series. So we'll talk about it. But other than that, man, I appreciate all y'all for tuning in, supporting the content. Hit the like button on the way out. Watch the replay. Of course, with this long video, I will be editing or getting this video edited. So for people who don't want to see 1 hour of fragrances, I'll try to chop that 1 hour down to 30 minutes, give or take. At least 30-minute video. And, that way replay, you don't have to watch the whole 1 hour of the video to talk about that. You can just watch the actual, if you want to hear about these 15 again, it's just kind of easier to search for. But other than that, man, I appreciate y'all. Hopefully y'all like the content, man. Tune in, and until next time, peace.